Hey everyone, today's game that we're going to take a look at is Hogwarts Legacy on the Onexfly APEX, which is the most powerful 8-inch handheld that you can get right now. And that's because of the AMD AI Max Plus 395. So we're going to test this at a number of different TDP settings and different graphic settings to see what we can get out of this. We'll start off with 80 watts plugged in, and this is at 1200p ultra settings. Frame generation is going to be off for all these tests. We have FSR 3 set to quality. And with these settings, we seem to be, hovering around 60 FPS, sometimes a bit above, sometimes a bit below. The area we're in is also not super busy, so, it's going to fluctuate throughout the game. If we turn off FSR, we're not really seeing any kind of impact here. Like, we're still hovering close to 60 FPS, and it doesn't seem to make that big of a difference. So you may as well just go with frame generate, or rather FSR just turned to off. So our next test here, we're going to switch things up and we're going to go down to 55 watts. We're going to unplug the cord here and just be on battery. And with these settings, we're sticking with the same settings. And right now we're actually a bit higher. Now I think it's actually due to the area we're in. Like, I'm assuming that we're going to be somewhere around 60 FPS in a more open area, but right now we're hovering in the 70s. So now we're going to drop down to 45 watts and we're going to stick in this area for the rest of the tests. We seem to be hovering in the mid 50s, so we're not quite getting that 60 FPS experience, so we might have to drop the settings a little bit to be able to achieve that. But we're going to keep going with Ultra and see how it goes with other settings here. So we're going to go to 30 watts now and 1200p frame generation off, FSR off, and we're hovering somewhere close to 40 FPS. 40 FPS isn't bad. If you target that, it's not 60, but it does feel pretty smooth. Now we're changing things up. We're going to try medium settings at 30 watts, and now we're in the 60s. So that's all we need to do is lower the graphics a bit, and you can get a pretty decent 30 watt experience here. But why stop there? Let's go down to 20 watts, same settings. And now we're sitting in the mid 30s. So still a playable experience if you're okay with 30 FPS, but we can drop it a bit lower and we're going to go down to low settings. With these settings, we're now in the mid to high 40s. Sometimes we go into the low 40s and sometimes up to the 50s. Now if we go down to 800p for our resolution, now we're sitting in the 70s, sometimes 80s. So a big difference here, just dropping that resolution a little bit. And we're only at 20 watts. Now at 15 watts, we're going to keep the same settings of 800p. We're at 40 to high 30s for our frame rate, sometimes mid 40s, which is pretty good. I think if we try a little bit more FSR here, it's not actually making that big of a difference. Like, we're high 40s, low 50s, and that's with FSR 3 performance. But we can push it a little bit further. We're going to try to set this to have FSR Ultra performance and see how it does. And with these settings, it seems to be around 50 to mid 50s, which is decent. So we're going to drop our wattage down to 10 watts, which is pretty crazy on this APU, and we're sitting close to 30 FPS. There are times that it dips below, but it's mostly around 30. 10 watts on this chip is absolutely crazy. So that's going to wrap it up for this one. Just a quick test of Hogwarts Legacy. If you haven't joined our community Discord, check it out. It's on screen and I'll link it down in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.